Tanya for Yud Aleph Tevis Perek Ches. There's an additional aspect in manners of forbidden foods. This is why they're called Isser, which means bound and attached. Even if one ate forbidden foods without knowledge, l'shem shamayim, but his intention was l'shem shamayim, in order to serve Hashem with the energy derived from it. Moreover, he actually carried out with his intentions, and he davened with this koyach. The vitality contained in it does not ascend or become clothed in the words of Teda or davening, as in the case of permitted food. And it should be because it is held captive in the power of Sitra Achar of the Sholosh Klippis, which did not permit the energy of the food to be elevated to Kedusha. Even something which is Isser D'Rabbanan, Shechamurin Divrei Seifrim, Yeshim Divrei Teda. As Chazal say, the words, the prohibitions of the Chacham are even more stringent than the words of the Teda. Therefore, Gama Yitzhahara V'Kechem Asabel Dvar Masunim, Ushed Meshedin Yichroin, Yitzhahara, and the force, the lust after forbidden things, is also one of the non-Jewish demons. Shu Yitzhahara Shul Umas Ha'ilam, which is the Yitzhahara of the nation. Shenaf Shesim Shalish Klippis HaTmeis, whose souls are derived from the Shalish Klippis HaTmeis. Shege Yitzhahara V'Kechem Asabel Dvar Masunim, Ma'astavasa. On the other hand, the evil impulse and the craving force after permissible things, even when done solely to satisfy one's craving, Ushin Meshidin Yudai, is one of the Jewish demons. For it can be reverted to holiness, as was explained above. However, nevertheless, before it reverted to holiness, and even afterwards, a trace of it remains attached to the person's body. Since each item of food and drink that one ingests immediately becomes blood and flesh of his flesh. This is why the body needs to go to under the purgatory of the grave. In order to cleanse it and purify it from the uncleanliness which it had received from the enjoyment of mundane things and pleasures, which are from the impurity and klippus nega of the Jewish demons. Except somebody who did not have any enjoyment of this world, could have been HaKadosh, like Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi, who says that when he passed away, it says that he had no enjoyment of this world, even with the extent of a small finger. As for, let's say, Dvarim B'Telim, innocent idle chatter, for example, let's say an ignoramus that doesn't know how to learn, he must have a soul cleansed from the impurity of this klippa. This is through kaf hakela, the hollow of the sling, like it says over there. But forbidden for speech. It's about, for example, these things, which stem from the three completely unclean klippas. Kaf hakela does not suffice to cleanse or remove the impurity of the soul. But the person has to descend from the Gehenim. Somebody who is able to engage in learning Teda, but occupies himself in idle chatter. Kaf hakela alone cannot effectively scour and cleanse the soul. But he must receive severe penalties which are meted out to neglect of the Torah in particular. The whole bit of mitzvahs, apart from the general retribution for the neglect of positive commandments through Gehenim, namely of Makom Asher. Somebody who deals with intellectual parts of the world, it's considered Betel Teda, as it's written in Hilchos Talmud Teda. Moreover, the impurity of the intellectual part of an Ashes is greater than the impurity of idle speech. For the latter clothe and defile only the emotions which emanate, he said, the Ruach HaKadosh from the holy element of Ruach within his divine soul. By tainting them with the impurity of klippus nega contained in idle speech. We say the Ruach HaBashal, which is derived from the evil element of Ruach, the animal souls by Shabbat. It's words of foolishness and ignorance. Since even fools and ignoramus can speak the way always. However, when it comes to chachmas always, now in the case of the science of the nations, thereby one clothed and the files of divine soul, faculties of Chabad with the maturity of Klubas Nega contained in those sciences. The sciences have fallen through the shadow of the vessels out of the hinder part of the Chachmas of Klippas as known to students of Kolel. And unless one employs the sciences as a useful instrument, he earns a livelihood to be affluent livelihood, which be able to serve Hashem. Or he knows that he used the sciences in the service of Hashem. This is the reason why Maimonides and Nachmanides, of blessed memory, and their peers engaged in them in the sciences, so they were able to utilize this knowledge in the service of Hashem. The Chazal once came to the Alter Rebbe lamenting the fact that his son-in-law was subject to periods when he would doubt his faith. The Alter Rebbe responded that his son-in-law had unwittingly consumed milk which was milked by a non-Jew, with no Jew in attendance. Though he was unaware of the fact that through the Isser against such milk as only rabbinic, this had a strong effect upon him that it caused him to have doubts in Emunah. Alter Rebbe then proceeded to tell us Chazad how the manner could be rectified thereby healing the son-in-law of the spiritual malady.